Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Meggie, and today we're going to be doing a debt payoff plan overview, breakdown if you will. All of that is right here. I believe I included everything. I try to be very aware of my debt, and it's honestly, it could be worse. It's mostly my student loans that are killing me, but I'm still in school, so only the unsubsidized are accruing interest. But we'll go over all of that in my payoff plan and stuff in this video. So if you're excited, like me, leave a like, comment, maybe even subscribe, and let's go. All right, so what I think I'm gonna do is go over, let me open this. Yeah, so I've got a nice little debt payoff page in my GoodNotes. We love GoodNotes so much. I have the annual plan and I will not be getting rid of it because it's like $7 for a year of all this. It's fantastic. All right, so let's see. I'm organizing everything. Oops, that's still in the frame. There we go. All right. So our first debt, and the one we are focusing on the hardest, is, let me cover up my name, Chase Freedom Unlimited card. We love this girl. She is our newest card. But the reason, and so the total debt right now, as of this afternoon, is $1,512. And my limit is like $1,700. So it's almost maxed out. But the reason I got it is because there's a 0% APR until February 2027. So I got this a couple months ago, and it is a 15-month intro promo period of 0% APR. So as long as I pay this off, no interest will ever start accruing. It's not deferred. It's none of that. So I will never have to pay any interest if I get this paid off by February of 27, which, as you'll see, I plan to be able to. So Discover It, I was carrying a balance, but I used so I was cash stuffing an emergency fund, but I also kind of had a little extra on the side, so I used that to pay it off, so it would stop accruing interest. This is I got the little personalized one, because I think you can, oh gosh, can you tell on this card? If you can kind of tell there's like a line here and a line here, it's because I definitely locked myself out of my house one time, and I had to jimmy the lock open with my credit card. Now, obviously, it's Discover It, so as you know, that probably means, and it does mean in this case, that it was my first credit card. If you don't have a Discover credit card, a Discover It specifically as your first credit card, please tell me what it was down in the comments. I'm actually very intrigued to know the answer to this. But yeah, Discover It, first credit card, whatever. She used to be a problem. I think in 24, I had like a couple months where I didn't pay her off. When I started my cash stuffing journey, actually, I was not paying this credit card off. I was accruing interest, which is not very bad. Not very good, excuse me, because it's 26.74. And I believe the average interest rate for a credit card is like 24%, which you'll see is even worse on my next card, lol. But yeah, this credit card is variable, but it usually hangs out around this. And I believe that's what my last statement said the APR was as well. But yeah, I just paid it off in full, and I plan to pay it off in full and treat it like a debit card. I treated it like a debit card for a while, got a problem in 2024, paid it off, I believe, in June of this year, and then I had to start accruing a balance on it again because of, as you know, my disability, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into that. If you want to know a little bit more about my health, but not a lot because I don't put that out on the internet, go watch one of my last videos. I kind of went into and how my income situation has been absolutely royally effed. And then we have my Finbo card. I just call it the Finbo. It's also doesn't, this is that card I was talking about when I actually did first start cash stuffing. I had just gotten this card. I think I got it in January of this year. No, oh my god, it's 2026. I got it in January of 2025. But yeah, this is a BP and Amoco card with the First National Bank of Omaha or Oklahoma. I think it's Omaha though. I don't remember. It's my Finbo card. This is my gas card. I literally only use it for gas and gas stations, which I do try to not go into the gas station very often, but you know, it'd be like that sometimes. But yeah, I have $0 on that. Just paid it off. I've never carried a balance on that card ever. I've never had any interest accrue, thank God, because I actually didn't know what the APR was when I first signed up. I was not as financially literate 12 months ago as I am today. So I signed up for a credit card with a 31.99% APR. I would not suggest doing this, like, unless you're a credit card person. Like, there's such a difference between being a credit card person and not being a credit card person. Overall, I am a credit card person. Yes, sometimes I carry a balance, but I also know how to use it for my advantage. I totally forgot to tell you guys, by the way. The Chase Freedom Unlimited card, I believe it is 5% off a lot of stuff. Like 5% cash back, not off. I meant cash back. And then there's 1% on like basically every single purchase, and then 2% on something else. If I can find it, I'll put it up on the screen. But yeah. And then I also used the 0% APR. And if you spent $500 on it in the first 3 months, I believe, you get 20,000 points, which equals like $200 of like either cash back. I think you could get some like travel points. You could get gift cards. I did not use all of mine yet because I did obviously spend $500 in the first 3 months because I just opened it up like 2 months ago. So yeah, I do plan on paying it completely off before the APR gets out there. And so I used some of the points to just like, sorry, my hand's not even in frame. I used some of the points to pay back on the card, but like my first payment, I did $150 and $50 of it was points back. Like, was from the points that I had earned. I see my cat. He's about to jump up on something. He's about to be a menace. Oh, he walked away. Okay, good. Good. Anyway, so yeah, the Discover It is mostly 2% cash back and 1% cash back, but it's a Discover It card. You don't really expect much from it, honestly. But I usually get, you know, on the months that I put all my expenses on there and then pay it all back, because that is what I was doing when I only had this card for the beginning of cash stuffing. I put everything on this Discover It and then pay it off at the end of the month with all the cash that I had, you know, put aside during the month. So yeah, that one I usually get about $20 in cash back, which is nice. It's not crazy, but you know, $20 is $20. Anyway, and then Finbo, I get so it's not really a cash back. This one is a cash off, because if I get gas, specifically, if I get gas at a BP or an Amoco, I get 15 cents off a gallon. And I believe the first 60 days, you got 30 cents off a gallon. So this card genuinely saves me a shit ton of money. So as long as I pay it off every month and don't have to accrue that interest, it will continue to save me money. So that is the main reason I got it, was to get money off on gas. Synchrony, I don't have a card for that because it's just, you know, like an online loan. Actually, I don't know why I said, you know, some people might not know. Synchrony is like, you get a lot of stuff through this loan, like, card. It's like a Google card, basically, but it's digital. I don't know if you can get a physical card. I don't want a physical card because I got my phone on this. I got my Google Pixel, what I am recording on right now. I got my Google Pixel 8 Pro, I believe is what I have. And that was like 600. No, that's way too much. I think it was maybe 500. I don't know what the original balance was, but it was reasonable enough that I felt like getting it. So right now I owe $381 on it, and the minimum payment is not $40 a month. The minimum payment is $17.80, but that was for a 36-month payment plan. I'm like, and I couldn't change it. I would have made it so much shorter if I could, but I couldn't. So I'm just making my minimum payment $40 a month. So I'm going to pay it back over 2 times quicker than, you know, than it is than is needed, I guess. So yeah, this means paid off at a 0% APR by November of 26. So it's going to be paid off in like 10-ish months because I already made my payment for the month of January. So yeah, it's down after that payment of January to $381, which is great because yeah, I've been steadily able to put aside $40 a month for this phone every single month since I bought it because I knew I could do it. Like, I try not to make stupid decisions. I try not to make stupid purchases. So when I take on debt, I really do try to make the most of it. So yeah, I made sure this was a 0% APR phone payment plan. And yeah, if I make any regular purchases with this Synchrony card, like add to it the balance, oh my gosh, I can't remember what the APR was. I'll put it up here, but I think it was at least 30% APR. So this girl is not getting used for anything else except this one phone payment, and that's it. And then we go to my student loans, which are the ones absolutely crushing me. But again, I'm still in school, so it doesn't matter that much yet. So as of filming this, my balance is $23,201. Rounded up, because I think it was $2,000 with like cents, whatever. So I have 6 loans total. I'm not going to go into the individual balances of all of them, but this one, so I have 2 for my first year at my university. I did end up dropping out, and now I go to a community college. So much better for me. Wish I'd realized that before I took on $23,000 of student loan debt, but you live and you learn. Anyway, so the first year, the first 2 semesters, well, I guess it was the year because each one of these, one of them is subsidized and one is unsubsidized. So the subsidized ones are not accruing any interest right now, and the unsubsidized already are. I'm not sure how much you guys know about student loans, but that's kind of how it works. Like when you're in school, unsubsidized are still accruing interest, but subsidized won't start accruing interest until the grace period of after school ends, like after finishing school. So both of my loans for my first year of college are at a 4.99%, and these are all federal, by the way, because yeah, Advantage is a federal student loan. People think, do you have any idea how lucky I am now that I didn't fall for those Sally Mae emails when I was in high school? Because I was a desperate high school student looking for money to go to college. I am so glad 4 years down the line that I did not take on a Sally Mae loan. Oh my gosh, now that I know about those and how predatory some private student loan companies can be, oh my God, I don't believe in God, but you know, like, bruh. Anyway, my second year of college was at a 5.55%, and then, so I ended up dropping out after the first semester of my third year. So, well, technically in the first semester of my third year, but whatever. So this one is, these loans are the smallest, but they have the highest interest rate of 6.53, which for student loans is not really that good, but it'd be like that, and it could be worse. It could always be worse. So minimum payments will start on January of 27, because I graduate at the end of July in 26 in this year. Oh my God, it's so crazy that 2026 is this year. Anyway, so yeah, you get a 6-month grace period after you finish to like get your job in your field, whatever. And I do plan on enrolling in the SAVE plan, which I don't know, I still am learning about, so I might not end up doing that. But what I've learned through asking the internet and ChatGPT, love you, chat. Anyway, what I've learned from asking that is the SAVE plan, like, you still have to pay the interest, but like the federal government or something will cover the rest of it to make sure your minimum doesn't make the balance continue to go up. And with what my loans are and what my estimated budget will be, ChatGPT is not a person. Please don't tell me you think ChatGPT is a person. Treat it like the it that it is, but respectfully, in case there's an AI uprising. That's how I view AI. Anyway, my estimated minimum will be about 170 to 200. So that's kind of what I'm planning for. I think it was actually 150 to 170, whatever. So that is all my debt. I forgot to do a total amount, but let's see. So that's basically 1,900. 1,900 plus 23, it's about 25,100. So I have about $25,000 in bad debt and no good debt. But you will notice on here, I do not have a car payment. Bless the possibly existent Lord, because I do not have the money to have a car payment right now. I'm waiting until I get my big girl job when I graduate with my associates to get that car payment. And I'm still gonna get a used car because I think new cars these days are a scam. Another one of my financial beliefs. Controversial or not, I don't give a shit. That's how I feel. So my monthly income for this month, because I just got a new job, I don't know if I told you guys about the one in the last video that I filmed, but there were some issues that were my fault, so I probably do not have that job anymore. But in the same days that I was losing the opportunity for that other job, I got a new job with White Lodging, which is like a huge hotel chain place in the US. So I do feel comfortable saying who the employer is because it's big and there's so many locations all everywhere. So yeah, I'm expecting to only get one paycheck from White Lodging in this month, so that'll only be $700. Plus, the best I can do from DoorDash is $1,200 a month, which after putting aside 25% for taxes is $900 in take-home pay. Because I do plan on doing quite a bit of DoorDash, at least for the first half of the year through July. So I guess the first 7 months, whatever. So in that case, I will make enough to have to pay taxes. So I'm making sure I make enough total that my take home is good enough to survive off of. So yeah, January will be painful. I will not be able to survive in January unless my fiance helps me out a bit. So ouch. Anyway, yeah, my estimated take home for this month is gonna be $1,600, which is not the best vibe, but it's fine. But then through February through July, I'm expecting to get, those 2 paychecks a month from White Lodging for $1,400, and then still try to do $900 because, $1,200, because that is just the most feasible thing for me. I really don't think I can do more than that. And that'll be about $2,300 because there will be a couple magic months in there, so 3 paycheck months, because I know they do pay bi-weekly. So yeah, there will be a couple 3 paycheck months, but around $2,300, which I can do. Then August through December, once I get my new big girl job up in Michigan, we'll move there. I'll get my big girl job. I'll be making about $4,000 as a certified surgical technologist. So I'm very excited for that pay increase. Yippee! So then I calculated my necessities. As you guys know, if you watch my previous videos, I'm a cash stuffer, so I already had all these categories in mind, so it was very nice. So the minimum, if I cut out every bit of unnecessary spending, just paid for rent, my health and car insurances, utilities, phone and internet, my minimums and extra money towards debt, therapy, health, subscriptions, annual fees, not AF as in as fuck, annual fees, education, groceries, and gas. That is the bare minimum I need to survive right now. $1,840. So as you can see, my income situation for January is not the best. It's not the best. But we will figure it out. But anyway, so yeah. But then my normal months, I will be able to put, as much money as I need to into debt and extra things so my life doesn't literally suck. Some eating out, some savings, wedding, whatever. I'll be able to put other money aside some other places. So, Chase Freedom Unlimited, again, not fuck you. I just did very terrible, acronyms. Anyway, so our total balance right now is $1,512. Avery, my fiance, is going to cover $130 of that because he's paying me back for some of the big purchases I made during vacation. Because we did take a little vacation in December, even though I probably couldn't have afforded it, but 0% APR credit card. So Avery, he paid for a lot of other things himself as well, but I said, he had already paid me back some, for gas. He covered at least half the gas. So I was like, you paid me back another $130 for some of the events and stuff. You're fine, call it even. And he was like, bet. So he just gave me the $130 today. I haven't put it on the card yet, which is why I didn't actually deduct it. It's just in my math, I deducted the $130. So after the $130, it'll be $1,382 left. Now the squiggly line is my calculation for each of these payoff plans. It needs to be paid off in 13 months because I already made the January payment on this one as well. So I tried to do that as close to the first of the month as possible so I don't forget. Anyway, because I don't have any auto pay. Do I know that's stupid? Yes. But do I also like to make different payments on different cards to try to pay off as much as possible? Yes. So I don't even have auto pay on anything, which Caleb Hammer would absolutely despise me for. But I mean it. I have never had a late payment. Never. So, yes, I get interest because I don't pay it off. Anyway, but this one, I don't have to worry about it because if I pay off in the 13 months, I only have to pay an average of $107 a month, which is actually really good. But if I put the whole $175 towards it, I could pay it off in 8 months. So what I'm going to try to do is pay it off in, I actually didn't count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 months. Anyway, sorry, I have to rub my face. I'm so tired. So starting with the minimum payment, which is $40. Right now, my minimum is $40. So if I add an extra $135, that gets us to that $175 number. Excuse me, I burped. So $135 in February, March, April, May, June, and then I dropped it by $5. It's not gonna do much, but I dropped it by $5 in July because we'll be moving in next month, which is August, which is why I dropped it down to $60. But yeah, I'm trying to give myself some grace. I'm trying to build in the grace. So yeah, I did it at July, and that will be still only $337 left. So once I get my new big girl job and I have more money to put towards that, yes, because I'm assuming I'll probably only get one paycheck from the company that I'll end up with. So I'm not giving myself that much extra to put towards it. So if I put $100 towards the card still, I feel like that's good. And then I'll just pay the other one. Let's see, 197 plus 40 is 237. So I'll pay the other 237 the next month, and then boom, we're at zero and we have no interest accruing at all. Bam. So that is my payoff plan right now for this card. And then we have our beautiful little breakdown for Advantage, aka my student loans. So I reminded myself I have to start paying in January of 27. But I want to try to start immediately after I get my big girl job in August. So I realized I put 200 here for August when I was being so graceful in my other one, but I feel like it'll still be okay. Anyway, so August through December, when I don't have a minimum, I'm just going to try to put $200 towards it, because that's an extra $1,000 that I could put towards like subsidized and stuff. And then January through June, when just the first half of the year to kind of get acclimated and everything, the 170 estimated minimum plus 360 is $530 a month to pay off these guys. So I think that's a very good starting point. And then July to November, because once I'm really into it, I can add more. I'll be more used to it. So the minimum and 580. The reason I stopped at November instead of December is because I get married in November of 27. So I want to, do the same constant through that. But then once I'm done with the wedding and I don't have to put all that money towards saving for it, bam, that's when we finish it. So anyway, July through November will be $750. Yeah, $750 a month on average to pay it off. And then December, until we're done paying it off, because I don't expect anything big, and I want to take care of these, $170 a month minimum plus $700. That gets us to $970 a month on payoff, which I really like, especially like by then I'll get into the numbers, but I should expect a raise for my job at that point, so I'll probably be getting even more. So I really feel like I can pay off that much. Again, grace, extend myself some grace, but I won't have a wedding to save for. I'll probably have a fully funded emergency fund by that point. Maybe not fully funded, but I'll have it funded enough that I can pay off all this debt and then go towards a fully funded 3 to 6 month emergency fund. Just saying. So the order that I want to pay this off. Now, this is going to look a little funky to all you snowball method and avalanche method people, but I swear there's a method to my madness. So, in case you guys don't know, a snowball method for paying off debt is when you find the smallest balance and you pay that off first. And then, so if you have a $1,000 debt that you pay $100 a month, and then a $2,000 thing that you only have to pay $40 a month towards. So you pay off the $1,000 first with that $100, and then you move that $100 over to the $40 and pay off $140 on your $2,000 after you pay off that $1,000. So then if you have a $5,000 that you're only paying $100 a month, you can move that $140, $240, then it all works out in the end. That's the snowball method. I personally, and the reason that a lot of people choose the snowball method is because you see that gratification by paying off that smallest one, and then you get more by paying off another one, and it's easier for the gratification and the motivation. However, I like the avalanche method the most, because that one you do the highest interest rate, and then you pay that off because it usually will save you a little bit on interest. So that's what those both are like. That's what the two methods are. However, you'll notice this does not follow either of them, because I have the 5.5s, and then I have the 6.35 or 5.3s, and then I have the 4.99s. But the reason that I'm doing it this way is because I'm still saving on interest. How, you might ask? Remember how I said that I only got through the first semester, almost through the first semester of my third year? Those loans are exceptionally smaller than this one and exceptionally smaller than this one. This one was super high. I don't know why I had to take out that much that year, but I was like 20 years old and I didn't care. So I just took it out so I could go to school. So anyway, I can't remember the exact balances and I'm not going to go through it right now. But these guys have like a $1,700 and a $2,000 balance. No, one, because the subsidized is smaller. So this one's like, the 1,700 and this one's like 2,100 because it's already been accruing interest. But it's accruing interest at a slower rate total because this guy is like 3,200 and this guy's like 4,000. So 4,000 at a 5.5 is going to accrue a lot more interest total than my 2,100 or whatever I said it was at 6.53. So what I'm going to do to try to save on interest is pay off the biggest one that's still already accruing interest because it's non-subsidized. So it is still accruing a shit ton of interest right now. I'm going to pay that one off first. And I'll pay it off by, hopefully, with this method, my little payoff plan thingy, hopefully I will have it paid off by October 27th of 27. Then I'll do this one because it'll also already be accruing interest because it's past that grace period and it's still a bigger balance than these guys. So I did decide instead of doing this one and then this one's a bigger balance and it's going to be accruing interest by that point. So I'm going to pay this one off second and that one will be paid off by 4/28. Then I'll move on to this one, 6/28. It'll only take me a couple months. That's how small it is. And then subsidized 6.53. That one will be paid off in another 2 months. And then unsubsidized smallest 2/29. And then I hope to be completely student loan debt free by June of 2029. That is my extreme payoff, best I can do, everything towards it to be debt free. I want to be debt free by June of 2029. That is my ultimate goal. Because this one will be paid off by September of 26. I mean, my synchrony will be paid off by November of 26. It's really just the student loan debt that's going to kill me, but I am willing to put in the effort. I am willing to put so much of my money towards this payoff because it'll save me money over time. Like, you know, a lot of people, well, again, maybe you don't know, but you can file bankruptcy. Like, my credit cards could become completely out of control. My car loan might fuck me up. I can declare bankruptcy, but these student loans are still going to find me, and they are still going to accrue interest. They don't give a shit. So I need to pay these off. So saving, and then, you know, once I save all that money on interest, I'm literally going to have freed up almost $1,000 a month to save or spend, but I'd like to save on whatever the heck I want, bro. Ooh, I'm so excited to be debt free. Oh my God, I'm such an adult. I'm so excited to be debt free. Anyway, so yeah, hopefully I will be debt free in 3.5 years. So that's really not that bad for $25,000. Again, maybe I'll do better, maybe I'll do worse, but that is my ultimate goal. Again, yeah, so I'll probably update you guys, you know, once I take out a car loan, get a new car. And right now I'm looking, I know guys, I'm gonna go crazy on this. I'm looking for a Honda CR-V. Ooh, so crazy. Anyway, I want a compact SUV, lots of space in the back, and, you know, Bluetooth. Because I currently have a 2009 Toyota Yaris. It does not even have Bluetooth, but it has a big trunk area. So I love her so much and I want to upgrade. So yeah, I'm looking at a Honda CR-V. Hopefully that'll be a good rate, good interest rate, good monthly payment, but we shall see. So that is all I wanted to share with you guys. Hopefully, so yeah, my biggest goals for this year though will be to pay off Synchrony and to pay off my Chase Freedom card. So hopefully I have 0 outstanding credit card debt by the end of the year. That's basically my whole thing. I want to be completely credit card debt free by the end of the year. So if you guys are excited to go on that journey with me and have little updates, I'll probably do like either a quarterly or a halfway through the year update. I might do another debt update actually when I do my low by quarter update. Something to look forward to, a little double right there. Anyway, I'm going to go to DoorDash now, so I have a little bit of money. I'm gonna go DoorDash now. So again, like, comment, maybe even subscribe if you really like this video and you want to keep up with my journey. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.